and welcome to this week's edition of the Sunday Interview, and I am Azizat Olaoluwa. Now, did you know that Africa's best choreographer is a Nigerian? Well, he is. He's a cultural ambassador and a highly revered one at that. He's also known as the Dance General. He's a recipient of many top honors, including the Order of the British Empire. You will be meeting my guest after this time out. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. My guest today is a practitioner of creative arts and is fondly called Lord of the Dance. Now, if you are talking about African performance arts and you haven't mentioned him, then your work isn't complete. I'm talking about Prince Peter Adegboyega Badejo. He's a descendant of the Fidikwote ruling house of Ijebuland. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much, Hadiza.
Now, I'm finding it pretty much difficult to believe that you are 71 years old because you clocked it just last month.
That's right.
You're looking fit and very young. What's the secret, first off?
Dance is the secret.
Really?
Yes. I mean, once you can move. The logo on my letterhead is movement is life. The moment you can move, you are alive. The day you stop moving, you are underground.
Interesting.
It makes you look young.
Wow. So how was growing up like for you as a prince?
Very interesting. First, I'm very lucky. I come from a royal family, like you said, the Fidikwote Mole. And it's an artistic family also. We had musicians in the family. My father was a musician. We have other people in the family who are dancers, who are traditional choreographers. We had painters. We had bead makers. We have people who do royal emblems, royal costumes, and they themselves are royal. So in terms of the artistic, is from the family, is generated in the family. If you look at us today, wherever we may be, if you remember, you look at the DG Tourism, she is also from the Fidikwote family. And you can see that she has really, not only has she contributed to the development of art, but to see that tourism and art is interwoven.
Wow. So you grew up knowing about arts. You grew up seeing arts. So you live and breathe arts. How did that influence you going to school and all that?
Well, I remember the first performance I did in secondary school, in primary school actually, called Patrick the Wanderer. It was I was a very tender age. And they chose me to play a part of someone who wants to tell people that drunkenness is not good. And that was my first part, and I was about 4 years old. So it's an interesting thing. From the beginning, I've always had the flair for art, but I wanted to be an engineer. When I went to the University of Ife, and I came across 1968, I came across the performing arts, and I thought, this is wonderful. This is more expressive than engineering. And I'm able to enjoy myself while I'm expressing myself to the public. And that's how it all started, from the professional level.
No, let's clarify first off. When you got to Obafemi Awolowo University,
yes,
what course were you supposed to study? Was it engineering?
Engineering was what I wanted to study.
So you changed course?
I said I was going to change course.
Wow.
Because I went to African Studies was what housed the drama department there, because we didn't have a drama department. So, and I thought, no, I'll be able to express myself better in performing arts. But that was just the beginning of it. Then I came across dance, and I thought, if you speak in words, people are able to commit you beyond what you think. But if you dance, you can entertain. At the same time, infuse reality into people.
Indeed.
So I went into dance.
So which other schools did you go to, from primary school level up to
secondary school?
Secondary school or higher institution.
And then university.
Yes.
Then I went to the University of Ghana. And then I studied at London School of Contemporary Dance, which I was given a scholarship to from France. And then I did my master's at University of California, Los Angeles, where I did dance choreography and ethnology, which is the study of people through their movements, through their dance.
Wow. So let's talk about the special woman in your life and then your children. How did you meet her? Is she in this profession as well?
The interesting thing is a bit guilty. My wife was a dancer. Then she moved into teaching full-time, into primary school teaching. But she was a dancer and a very successful dancer in England then. And it happened that she was one of my students. That was the guilty part. And it happened that we got married and we have 4 children.
Are this in Nigeria or
No,
living?
they're abroad at the moment.
Okay, so how did you?
Between Nigeria and abroad.
Okay, but I want to know the story really, how you wooed her, since she was your student.
I admired her for being a good dancer. I was a choreographer, and you cannot be a good choreographer if you're not a good dancer. You have to be able to move, you have to know what the content of movement is, to be able to use it, to design it scientifically, to make a meaningful communication. So I loved her for dancing. There were 2 of them. Then I used to really admire, and I thought, where are you from? I thought she was Caribbean. But apparently she's from Ire in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
She was born and bred in England. And that's how it all started. And I came home and saw her father. Her father also was working at the OSBC. And apparently he worked at the same time when my own dear sister, Princess Omotosho, was also serving at the television house in Ibadan. So it's a kind of interwoven family relationship. And that's how it started. And I thought it was necessary to have her as a good partner. And she has been very good to me.
Wow. So your children, what are they doing right now? Where are they?
Well, that's very interesting. One is a scientist. One is a full-fledged musician.
Oh.
The other works for Facebook in Ireland.
Wow.
And that's the only girl in the family. So, I mean, they're all at different levels, but at least the Fidipa Temole continues in terms of the one who is a musician.
So what special thing do you do for your wife, apart from dancing? You know, you're an African man, we understand that. But what do you do that is out of the norm? I don't want to say out of the ordinary now.
I'm lucky that my wife is not materialistic. And having been an artist herself, it's very easy to satisfy an artist. She loves her music. She loves going to see shows. Anytime I'm performing or her son is performing as it is now, she goes there and that makes her very, very happy. She's an inexpensive woman. And moreover, I'm married to a Fidipa Temole family. I have people who can take care of my wife. We take very good care of women. We are known for that.
But apart from the materialistic stuff, what about the simple things like maybe cooking for her, breakfast in bed?
Oh,
are you romantic?
Well. We are very romantic too. You won't believe it. I'm a very, very good cook. I do occasionally cook to satisfy my wife.
So what food can
and
you
make
cook
sure
well?
she sits in bed and take it.
So what food can you really cook well?
Oh, I can cook Nigerian food. I'm not the best at cooking English food, but I'm good at cooking Nigerian food. I like ugi. My wife likes ugi very much. She likes moi moi. You know, she likes Nigerian food, and I cook it very well.
Wow.
Home training. Our mothers trained us, both boys and girls.
Wow. What's your favorite meal?
Well, I'm an Ijebu man. I like my eba very much. Yes, I mean, I quite also participate in other food, like from my mother's place. The Jeshas love their pounded yam. And it's a delicacy, so I do eat pounded yam and good egusi stew. Okay,
do you drink alcohol?
Occasionally. Socially, I drink alcohol.
Now, what's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote? The moon moves slowly, but by daybreak crosses the sky.
Wow.
It is encouraging that no matter how slow your development, your progress may be, you will get your success. I think it's very important for young people these days to know that. They're so much in a hurry.
All right, what is your favorite music? What kind of music do you listen to?
I love my juju music. And the development these days, what has come out of what you might call juju music, the young artists, they're incredible. When they started, it was just sound. Now they're beginning to make meaning, even lyrically, in their music.
So who's your favorite musician among them?
Oh,
among
God.
the young ones?
That's, among the young ones,
yes.
You have to be very careful. Badejo.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you sing any of his songs?
No, I won't. I won't try it.
But why are you impressed with him?
Well, his lyrics are beginning to make sense to me.
Okay.
And then you see the thing, the music is beyond lyrics. Music is beyond putting drums together. But you have to have a meaningful blend, which I will say the choreography of music.
All right, now, in your career as a successful dance artist, that they call you a dance icon.
Yes.
What moment of life would you say was really trying for you? Because you were based here, you started here, and then later on you moved out of the country. Why did you take that decision?
Is the transition between tradition and contemporariness. You see, for some reason, when you say contemporary dance or contemporary anything, people tend to look to the West. And I resented that because we all live now. We are not living in the past. So we are contemporary in some form. And so when I had to cross to the West, I wanted to take my identity with me. I wanted to show the West that yes, our dance is meaningful, our dance can be choreographed, our dance can make modern statements, even in their own places. And that's what spurred me into it. I was lucky I worked with a choreographer when I was young in Ife called Peggy Harper. She's now late. But she's great. She's a South African that grew up in England and worked and taught us at Ife. She was good. And I thought, if with those trial things, she can make it in Nigeria and still communicate to our people. She's a very good friend of the late Chimi Ofede, who is a musician, who is a drummer also. And then I think I should be able to make it in the West. And I tried the West Africa. I went to Ghana and things. I know we're still operating on the same level. So I was lucky. I started teaching in England before I left Nigeria. Each time I have my holidays in Zaria, summer, I'll go over to London and start teaching, working with companies. So when I moved to London, they knew me. In fact, the Arts Council of England had already asked me to be on the panel, funding panel for dance before I left the shore of Nigeria to England.
Wow. So would you say that it paid your bills or is still paying your bills? Because many would
it has
say
always,
that
for 51 years, I've not done anything else. I've always paid, fed myself, do the little I can, help my fellow people, artists, through dance. In the beginning, it was a bit difficult because Nigerians would take things like dance or other art for granted. Every Nigerian can dance, they say. Yes, we all have our 2 feet, but when we get up, you'll be able to tell who is dancing and who is just moving. I know the Yoruba man says, I duro nijo, but there are palatable ijo and there are unpalatable ijo.
True.
Like Lagbaja said, Agbadoma Akpajo lekun.
All right, I have some more questions for you, but we
Yes,
just have
please.
to go on a short break at this point. Stay with us, we'll be right back. My guest is still the dance icon, the pride of Africa, Prince Peter Adegboyega Badejo. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Glad to have you back. My guest is still the best choreographer in Africa and Africa's living dance legend. I'm talking about Prince Peter Adegboyega Badejo. Thank you for staying with us on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, what would you say about the state of creative arts in Africa and Nigeria, especially African performance arts? Are you impressed with the way it is at the moment?
Well, I'm impressed with the artist and I'm impressed with the art. But in terms of development, there are questions. You see, we are not short of talents in Nigeria or Africa. The talents are there. But it's developing the talent that is very, very essential. And making sure that these talents find places to make sure they execute their arts. How many halls do we have in Nigeria? I mean, Lagos is lucky. You have all sorts of places you could use, even as performing arts centers. But we don't have designated places, very few of them. We need to develop centers. We need to develop the business itself. It's amazing how much we underestimate what performing arts, what the arts itself can do in terms of tourism. We have not annexed it. We have not used it yet. We haven't developed it. We have to invest. We have to pay for it if we want to make any headlong. We have to help the young people.
And by we, who are you really referring to? Who should take responsibility?
I'm referring to possibly the government itself, and also I'm referring to corporate bodies who are not just mouthing, they're not just mouthing support for the arts. You know, it's not, art is not like rice. You buy a bag of rice for 2,000 and sell it for 5,000. That is a cheap way of seeing things. I mean, that's one way of making money. But if you are really interested in the arts, that is not only about money, it's about the developing of self. It's about healing. It's about identity. Then you have to invest in the arts.
And then, but you wonder if people like you are not coming back home to, you know, to set up to help the young ones. How will they grow? Because they need to learn from someone like you that has done Africa proud, really, on the world stage.
That's a very, very good question. If I go back to when I was even in the country, I helped train almost all the cultural centers in northern Nigeria, from Katsina to Sokoto to Jos to Benue to Plateau. Find out most of the artists you find today from those areas sipped a bit from the juice of my own training. And so that's not the only thing. I mean, even when I was in the university, I trained artists. I do my best. And since I've been abroad, even when I was in the US, I come home to participate. I am part of the creative team that Professor Shoyinka used for the Black Heritage Festival. I am the director of the performance event. And if you look at the 2012 that was done here, I wrote the program and I directed what happened with Lagos. And I'm still doing it. I'm still coming home to work. And so I'm really contributing. And in terms of institution, I like our dance, especially to be institutionalized. We have not got an institution of dance. That's why we haven't moved. We haven't moved beyond what we are.
Okay, so tell us now, because one of the impressive feats you have been able to get for yourself was the honors you got from the Queen of England herself, and that was the honors of the Order of the British Empire. Paint to us the scenario of getting that and how you felt as an African getting that honor.
It is interesting. It's not my first honor. When I was in California, I did a production called The Ways of the Yorubas, Aishaibile Yoruba, just to enlighten them that the Yorubas are so civilized, even in their thinking, in their religious philosophy, that their religion, they do not even envy one another. Unlike in Christianity, if you're a Catholic, you can't go to CMS, you can't go to this and all this. So I did what our people, the Yoruba philosophy of religion, where the Shango worshipper and the Ogun worshipper, they are all interrelated. And they are not envious of one another. They help one another develop. And it went so well in California, at Los Angeles, that the mayor of Los Angeles gave me a citation for the city of Los Angeles for that. And that was way before I got to England. But in England, in 2001, the Queen recognized my contribution to the development of African people's performing arts, especially dance, in England, and decided to honor me with OBE, the Order of British Empire. It was very interesting. The first day I heard about it, I got a call from the Prime Minister's office saying it has pleased the Queen to offer me the honor. Will I accept it? And I think that is because of the experience they've had before with organizations like the Beatles, who got the award and politicized it in a very negative way against the British government then. So they decided since then to be writing to people to ask them if they will accept the offer. So I kind of accept the offer, and they said, don't discuss it, we'll get back to you. And I remember going to my wife at home and said, darling, it looks like the British government has decided to honor me. She said, oh, come off it. I mean, it's not something you pick up on the street. So anyway, 3 months later, I was in a meeting in Birmingham, which is an artistic meeting.
Okay.
And someone went out to buy the newspaper. You know, they are big newspaper in England. They said they came back and they all got up and congratulated me. I said, for what?
Wow.
Said, your name has just come out in the list of honors as OBE for the year. I said, got 2001. And that's how it happened. And I remember the day of the investiture. It was very interesting. I had a friend of mine who just bought a brand new BMW, and she was so proud. She was going to take me to the Buckingham Palace and the family. And I said, oh, why not? I mean, new honor. I mean, as well go in a new car. But I was lucky to keep my invitations and the stickers and things. Being in Nigeria, she came about almost an hour late. And so I jumped into my old car, put on the stickers, and we went. And we got to the Buckingham Palace. After the initial security test, and they saw they saluted.
Wow.
We drove into the first part of the palace, then straight into the second part of the palace. And I saw an array of this Rolls Royce parked, polished.
With your
and
own
I
car.
said, oh my God. So fortunately, there was a space for a car in between. I just parked my car in between, and then we came out. But when we came out, it was a joy because we were fully dressed in Yoruba attire. And in fact, I remember very well, there's a picture of Charles, Prince Charles, really congratulating us and said, look, I love your attire.
Wow.
So, and then we got into the palace. As we ascended, you could tell from the pictures there's a correlation, there's a relationship between power, religion, and culture, which we can't afford to lose in this our own nation. We can't afford to lose it. The picture shows it. You see the reverence, you see the kings, you see the past. All these things just shows you, it enhances one another. And we got in, and they separated my family to go to the gallery where they would teach them. You know, everything is precise. Everything is precise. And we were taken to how to address the queen and how to bow and how to do this. And then after that, we had a cup of tea with the royals and all this. And then we went into the hall. And in the hall, they had already, in the gallery, sat all our visitors, our brothers, our sisters who came. And then we filed to one side. Wow. And then you come in. As you come in, you walk straight a bit further from the royals. And then they read your citation. Yeah, from this and that and that. After the citation, you turn, left turn, and you face the royal. You go to the royal, you bow, they greet you too, and then they kind of decorate you. And then they have a few minutes or seconds chat with you. That was good. May I come to see your show and all these things? Congratulations. And then you are excused. When you are excused, you do not turn your back on the royal.
Really?
You walk backwards.
Backwards, wow.
You walk backwards to where you turned, and then you turn and go straight towards the door, the exit door. And at the exit door, they take the award from you and put it into packaging. Then you go and sit in the gallery.
Wow.
It's an experience. And I'm telling you, coming from a royal family, I know that we have all these procedures, but we just have to make sure that it's as clean as it used to be. It's not anything new. We need precision.
Quite impressive. And then
Very
you're
impressive.
also Africa's best choreographer.
Well, so many awards that you get in this business. It's amazing. They keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And you begin to wonder, is it just all your job? I think if you do the right thing with hard work and you are in the right place, you will get recognized.
Indeed, but how do you feel that with all these international recognitions, you've not really been recognized by the Nigerian government?
Well, the Yoruba proverb says, Ile Same Dunjoyela. I'm hoping that we will change our attitude towards our own. We will celebrate our own as we go along. It may not be me, but others who are coming. Because there are lots of Nigerians, there are lots of choreographers, wonderful artists who are in the making. Some of them are already made, and they will be there to arrest the award.
Okay, now, if you didn't go into performance arts, what would you have done?
Let me think, go back now, 51 years ago. I would have been an engineer, mechanical engineer.
So what moment was your happiest point in life?
My happiest point was the little awards that I keep getting in Nigeria, like the one that happened last year here, I think is an achievement for me. When you get an award in front of your people, things I didn't get before I left this show, I think those are my happy moments.
So lowest moments?
Lowest moment is when I see that artists roam the streets. I see talents. I see young boys, young ladies suffering to exhibit what they have, and they are begging. They are begging to be helped. They are begging to help themselves, but it wouldn't work. That is very painful.
All right. So what lesson has life taught you?
The lesson that life has taught me hasn't been different from others. Work hard, believe in self, and believe me, in God's name, you'll get there.
And finally now, your advice to young performing artists out there.
Never give up. Never give up. Make sure you are focused. Please, 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 there are many alternatives, many confusion going on at the moment, and people think, oh, maybe I'll dabble into other things. Face your art. Be truthful to your art, and result will be incredible.
Now, would the show be complete without having you to step on the dance floor with us to show us some of your moves?
I hope you dance with me.
If you want me to.
Come on then.
All right.
Oh.
You still got moves. Wow, I'm trying to keep up. At 71?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Right.
All right, with that, to wrap it up on this week's edition of the Sunday Interview. My guest was Sir Prince Peter Adeboyega Badejo, the iconic dancer of Africa, the best choreographer on the continent, and of course, he's got the honor of the Order of the British Empire, so is OBE. For all your inquiries, you can send all of them to the Sunday Interview at tvcnews.tv. Until I come your way next week, I am Azizat Olalua. Bye for now.
Thank you, Adisa.
Thank you for coming.
These are woody.